Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into something as dramatic as it gets. Russia's supposedly unstoppable new Doomsday Submarine is now being revealed as completely useless in the current political and military terrain. There's a heavy, somber energy in the air, the kind of gravity you don't often feel until nations stare each other down across a gray sea, the horizon hazy with tension and threat. Picture command rooms lit by red warning lights, fighter jets roaring overhead, and a leader pacing in the shadows while decisions that could cost thousands echo through the corridors. This is that moment. We begin with the promise of power, a vessel built to dominate the seas, to carry with it the might of an entire nation, and to serve as the ultimate deterrent. Russia invested in its newest submarine with all hopes pinned on intimidation, on projecting dominance, on showing the world that its navy can do more than just patrol. It can terrify. But what happens when the bold vision meets reality? In this darkened tale, the promise begins to crumble. The images you'd expect, the submarine surfacing triumphantly, missiles launched, the world watching in fear. Those images have faded into the shadows. Instead, there's faltering equipment, strategic miscalculations, and a military leadership that's suddenly confronted with their own hubris. Imagine a naval strategist slipping through the corridors of a command center, face illuminated by screens flashing red alerts. His handshake with the admiral feels weak. The intelligence reports keep coming. Faults in the propulsion system, vulnerabilities to detection, crew morale slipping, the submarine unable to fulfill the mission it was built for. Meanwhile, a commander in Moscow turns toward a window overlooking a frosty courtyard and clenches his jaw, aware that the grand show of strength could become a symbol of weakness if it fails. And failure here is not just technical, it is existential. What flows next is a cascade of effect. Other nations are watching. Rivals are sharpening their pencils. Analysts are whispering not about if this submarine works, but when it shows its cracks. The political ramifications are vast. In Kyiv, the skyline stands defiant, lit by the embers of resilience and the echoes of threat. Fighter jets, those sleek predators of the sky, circle above, as if testing the sea's surface below. Command centers in Ukraine and its allies light up, the war rooms bustling like bomb shelters, planning not just defense but exploiting every weakness they can find. Back across the sea, Russia's leadership feels the shift. The intended roar becomes a whimper. Conversations once confident now carry undertones of fear. A naval officer stares at a map projected on the wall. The submarine's path shown as a blunt line into contested waters, but the advisors point out every possible flaw. Detection risk from satellites, anti-submarine drones, outdated sonar arrays. The grandeur of the weapon becomes overshadowed by the fame of its own failure. What was meant to be the bedrock of strategic deterrence is instead a liability. And the mood? Heavy. The kind you feel in soldiers' boots trudging through cold morning mist on deck, each breath visible in the air. The silence between commands that speaks louder than the orders themselves. The sense that the world's peace is held together by a thread. And sometimes that thread is made of fear, but other times of revelation. Because when a weapon declared unstoppable begins to falter, every captain, every soldier, every statesman realizes how fragile the theater of war truly is. In this climatic moment, you see the submarine moving toward its deployment zone, which should signify dominance, but then it's forced to abort. Crew reports alarms, systems malfunction. The whole mission is aborted. Back in Moscow, the stressed expression on the leader's face tells the story. The gamble didn't pay off. The eyes betray the conversation he's having with his advisors. We expected fear. We got exposure. The rest of the world senses it. The ripple begins. Allies take heart. Opponents adjust their strategies. The illusion of power fades, and what remains is a question. What happens next? In Kyiv, the defenders feel emboldened. The skyline remains lit not by fear but by defiance. The jets still fly, the submarines still patrol, not as single ships of terror, but as parts of a complex chessboard. Leadership changes tone, preparation, caution, strategy. They know the enemy's showpiece is actually soft, and in war, soft means exposed. The political stakes escalate. Conversations in European capitals shift from reacting to fear to strategizing on opportunity. The dormant deterrent becomes a point of both criticism and leverage. What was once a symbol of strength now stands as evidence of miscalculation. The emotional core of this story is not machinery or missiles, but human. The crew on that submarine feel the weight of expectation and the sting of defeat. The admiral sees his reputation tarnished. The political leader knows his credibility is shaking. Soldiers on both sides sense the imbalance. The tension in a command room when the expected roar goes silent is more deafening than any explosion. Because in war, absence can carry as much meaning as presence. And right now, absence is what we're witnessing. Absence of success, absence of deterrence, absence of the power that was promised. So what's the takeaway? The world rarely sees war machines fail so publicly. But when they do, they shift the balance. What we learn is that in today's geopolitics, the grandeur of a weapon means less than the integrity of strategy, the reliability of systems, and the morale of the people behind the buttons. The submarine may still exist, may still patrol, may still appear in proud images, but it no longer commands the fear it once was meant to. And in that gap lies opportunity for opposition, for diplomacy, for recalibration. As we look at these vast, storm-tossed seas, at fleets maneuvering and leaders deliberating, let's remember, war is not just about what you build, but what you can sustain under pressure. And when the pressure mounts, failures speak louder than successes. That's the moment we're living through now. The stage is set, the curtain lifting on a raw chapter of military misstep and political fallout. And we are watching, not just as bystanders, but as the world holds its breath. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates.